What's good, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to answer the question, how to communicate your needs, particularly affection. As I told you all before, I'm experimenting with daily content this month, so I'm just grabbing questions from Instagram posts just to keep the content coming. So I got this question on Instagram, I'm going to read it and I'm going to answer it. She writes, how to communicate your needs to a man, particularly affection. Please and thank you. The short answer to that question is just to be affectionate. No matter what you want in a relationship, you have to be the change you wish to see in your relationship. If you exhibit those things first and they're well reciprocated, many times you don't have to necessarily state the need as much as show the need. For instance, if you need a lot of affection in your relationships, especially in the beginning, give a lot of affection. Give the appropriate amount of affection that you would need from him. If it's well reciprocated, then you know within his nature he has the natural capacity to give you what you need. But if he seems to be bothered or he seems resistant to the affection, then you know that his natural way of being is a lot less affectionate than maybe you might need. And remember, in the beginning of a relationship, we're not just going with the flow and hoping that we get the most out of our relationships. We're still supposed to be qualifying people to our needs. We also have needs. If you notice that he doesn't have your needs or his nature doesn't allow for him to do some of the things that you prefer in relationships, then that should be considered on whether or not you should be continuing the relationship. Again, you need to be serving your own needs in the relationship at first. You can't be worried about being the greatest, being the best girlfriend in the world for him in the absence of making sure that he's also providing things that you want as well. In relationships, a lot of times things can grow very stale, even in long-term relationships and very established relationships. So the easiest way to help relationships or establish the need for connection and express the need for connection is just to touch more. Be more affectionate. Kiss your partner more, even if they're not giving that to you initially. Most of the time, when people feel welcome to you, when people feel more warmed up to you, when people feel more desired, they start to reciprocate that energy. So even if you're in a relationship that has gone a little bit stale as far as the physical connection, I found that touching your partner more and being more flirty and being more sexual with them overall will imply the need of more affection and will actually have the effect of creating more affection in your relationship, because you can build a culture of sexuality, of touch, of romance instead of neutrality. So this is for couples that are either having issues reconnecting physically or couples that are just starting out or women who are trying to assert their need for affection. Just be more affectionate, just touch more, just flirt more, just be more sexual from the onset, or reestablish that energy if you've had it and lost it before. If your partner is capable of those things, if it's within their nature to do those things, then they will reciprocate and match your energy. People often mirror each other without really realizing it. Again, you create the culture in your relationship. So if the culture you create is two people who walk past each other and keep it very professional or very neutral, even in your relationship, if you're in the kitchen and you don't have a habit of kissing your partner or hugging your partner when you see them or smacking their ass when you walk past them or whatever you might be into, that becomes the norm. And people get to a place where they say, oh, well, it feels like we were just friends. It doesn't feel like we're together. It feels like we're just friends. Well, a lot of times, while women might complain about that, or men might complain about that, they've probably done nothing to add in the romance and the physical connection and heat things up by making sure that they touch more, that they kiss more, that they show the affection that they themselves are craving but are lacking. So as far as affection specifically, you need to be the change you wish to see in your relationship. If you want him to touch you more, then touch him more. If you want him to be more sexual, then be more sexual. It creates the culture in your relationship. If he's resistant to that, then maybe he's not the one for you. Or maybe that's one of the things that you should consider among his other flaws on whether or not you should continue the relationship, whether or not you'll ever get what you need from him. We hear so much about spicing things up. And if you read enough Cosmo magazine or any one of those publications, a lot of times you'll read articles that have all of these sex tricks, or what to do. Go get some ice and blow his mind with some ice, or go get some whipped cream and blow his mind with some whipped cream, or come to the bedroom wearing this thing. Guys love this, and for the most part, it's just not as effective or necessary as just, again, doing the things you wish he would do, so he would then have an example and mirror the things back to you. I think we should let go of the idea of who does it first for a while when you're trying to make an improvement like that in your relationship. Maybe he's not kissing you first, or maybe if your man comes home from work, or you come home from work and he's not meeting you with love and hugs and kisses, but you had that before. It may feel like he's distant, or he's going away from you. But if you start to go to him when you come back home, or he comes back home with that same affection that is missing or is lacking in your relationship, and create that culture again, create that expectation of affection again. Even if he didn't start it, he'll come to expect it, and he'll come to find a responsibility within himself that he has to provide those things as well. It would become the culture of your relationship. Every day I get home and I kiss her and I hug her. Every time she walks past me in the kitchen, I smack her ass if she got those one pants on. Every time she's in the shower, I peek in and I give her a compliment. Whatever the thing is that you might want from him, you have to start being that way. You have to mirror that sexual energy back to him. That's if you need to make an improvement, or if you're trying to establish it. So again, be the change you wish to see in your relationship. If you want more sexuality, then be more sexual, be more nasty, be more adventurous. If you want more affectionate, kiss more, hug more, hold more, cuddle more. I know that sometimes if somebody's not doing that to us, then it makes us not really want to do it to them. And we definitely don't want to feel needy. But again, we're trying to create the outcome, and we all have a lot more power than we believe over our relationships as it pertains to what we do and the culture we build and the expectations we build with each other and romance. Also, love language should be heavily considered. A lot of people just aren't very physical in the way they express themselves, so that might not come naturally to them, but that doesn't mean that they can't acquire it if it's enjoyed, if they're enjoying the way that you express it. You can also just have a discussion. Hey, these are the things I need before entering a relationship. People often start relationships before they have very critical conversations about their needs and their wants and their expectations in relationships. They kind of feel their way into a relationship, or just, jump right into it without actually knowing exactly what is needed from them by that other person, and vice versa. A lot of times people aren't even comfortable requesting things from each other, or having those difficult conversations, because they haven't spent enough time getting to know each other. Flirty banter and texting, followed by great dates and a little sex, doesn't always lead to the best connections intellectually and spiritually and emotionally. If you're not having those longer conversations, if you're not getting that non-sexual time with each other and getting comfortable with each other, and understanding that you have the right to express your opinions and your feelings, and having that security with each other, if that's not established, then it's always difficult to express any need, whether that's affection, whether that's more communication or better communication, or a certain style of communication. Whatever grievance you might have, it's hard to express if you haven't established that security with each other and that vulnerability with each other. So I guess my last answer to this question is, leading into the relationship, please establish that vulnerability first, and don't just jump into the relationship because you like each other without having those critical conversations about what is needed by you and what is needed by your partner. You should have already told him what you expect, what you prefer from your man, what type of relationship culture you want to build. Anyway, I hope that helps. Follow me at KFIC24 on Instagram. I'll get with y'all later.